What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to go through how I'm training for Hyrox Miami, which is roughly, I'm guessing right now, 8 or 9 weeks, something about that out. So we've been pretty dialed in the past few weeks, but we're going to run through one of my workouts for this prep today, and then it's going to kind of also outline how I structure workouts in general and kind of rotate through different movements, exercises, all that stuff. So we're gonna go warm up and then get into the workout. All right, so warm up done. We're gonna go jump into the workout. Our first compound exercise, we're on narrow grip bench press. So I'll hop back there and explain more. So first part after the warm up of all the workouts are compounds. For Hyrox, today's workout, we've got the narrow grip bench press obviously behind me, and then we've got some kettlebell front squats. Throughout the whole prep, I rotate between these two, an overhead barbell press, barbell front squats, deadlifts, and just a traditional barbell bench press. And those are kind of the compounds that I'm working with over this prep, and they all kind of relate in some way to the different movements and different strength components that are needed for Hyrox. We've got 4 sets, 15, 12, 10, 8 higher reps today for bench press. This is taking off. It's warm in here. So the other thing when it comes to training Hyrox that's important is balancing like pure strength, I'll say, so going lower reps, higher weight, with the more muscular endurance side of things. So you're trying to work both sides of the spectrum. And so I've been doing lower reps, higher weight for a while, for like maybe like the first 4 weeks, first block of training, really focused on the strength. And then now kind of like deloading, so to speak, and going more on the endurance side of things. So high reps today, which can really sneak up on you when you're not used to it. So the compounds today are gonna be a little bit higher than they normally are, like second half, middle part of the workout. Those have been relatively high reps so far, which will kind of stay there, but balancing those two is a big thing when it comes to Hyrox training. That's fun. So we're gonna hang out here weight-wise. It's not a lot, but the reps, as I said, sneak up on you. And we got, what, so that's a set of 10, set of 8 left. That this should be a good weight to get at for those last 2. Yeah. All right, one short, not quite 10. So when you're finding also, this goes for any training, whether it's Hyrox or bodybuilding or just whatever, you always want to be kind of that 1 to 2, maybe 3 reps in reserve, so to speak. So like right there, I maybe could have done one more. I didn't really feel comfortable doing more without having a spotter. If I had a spotter, I probably could have squeezed one more out, but that's where you really want to be for 2 to 3 of your working sets. Do 1 or 2 kind of feeler, warm up, like whatever, build up sets, but then being at that 1 to 3 reps in reserve for those other 3 sets is where you're really gonna get the most work done, see the most growth in muscle strength. So don't be afraid, push yourself, be in that kind of comfortable, uncomfortable zone when it comes to weight. It's easy to get comfortable and do whatever, 3 by 10 at whatever, 135, but pushing yourself to that borderline uncomfortable, might not get this, is where you want to be to get that growth. All right. Oh, dang. One short again. All right, so that's it for not incline, Jesus. Narrow grip, bench press. We now got kettlebell front squats right here. So we're gonna slide, we'll slide over behind me a little bit. Go get a different spot closer to the kettlebells. All right, we'll see how these feel. I might swap these out. That low back stuff, not feeling nice. We'll see how this goes. Ooh, okay. Quick plug also, all the workouts I'm putting in to my app here. We can go back at the end, kind of show you some more. We're logging everything that we got going here. Video demos, everything laid out. So if you need a program, want a program, programs, online coaching, any of that is available. Check the link below. Yeah, that's what we're following right now. We're developing, or I say I'm developing the Hyrox program, kind of playing around with some different stuff, and we've kind of settled on what I've been doing this prep, like I said, full body, compounds, muscular strength, muscular endurance, balancing both of those. But we've also got programs for different goals, building muscle, just getting strong, getting lean, more endurance focused. If you got a marathon prep going on and you want to strength train while you're training for a marathon, you can work with that too. So like I said, check the link in the description for that, and get some more consistent training going, which is what leads to the big results. All right, that was, oh fuck, was that 3 sets? Fuck, all right. We got one more set. I thought it was 4. Damn it. Oh boy. Oh my God. Fuck. All right, so sit down. Fuck. That's it for front squats. Felt pretty good actually, pushing that last set. I haven't been able to really go heavy on squats between the back stuff, and then I tried this week. It was like a week ago actually, and for whatever reason I couldn't get a barbell front rack position without something tweaking in my like right trap, which was it was very weird, but haven't been able to really hit quads heavy, so that felt really good actually. Now we've got a little bit more hypertrophy, muscular endurance stuff. So we got a superset here, reverse hypers, and cable lat pullover. So posterior chain and lats. Lats are, I would say, a pretty underrated muscle that not enough people train for Hyrox. Just between, more so really just with the ski erg. I mean, you can do the ski erg and get fitter, but I think really working that muscular endurance 15 to 20 reps on lat pull downs is a really good addition to the ski erg, just by having that constant tension, overloading that muscle in that kind of overstretched position can be really, really helpful to getting it used to doing a lot of work. So we're gonna slide up to that front room by the reverse hyper and get this next superset in. Okay. These are awesome. Working that hip extension, but locking in kind of the upper half, which if you have, I feel like a decent amount of gyms have a GHD here, like this, which is gonna be similar in movement, except we're just locking in the lower half and kind of moving from the hips up. But you can do that same movement on a GHD here, where foot thing all the way back, and we just line up here. And it's the same idea. Not quite as good, but works enough to where if you don't have one of those, you can still do reverse hypers unweighted, which I prefer to do them unweighted anyways, just to be super conscious of the movement, super aware, and I think it feels a lot better. All right, one more set, and then what are we moving into next? We got some lateral raises and some bis and tris. Finish off a nice little upper body pump, and then we're gonna end the whole workout with a little more Hyrox specific conditioning. Hop on the salt runner, get some erg work in, and get the heart rate up, get a little bit more of a sweat in to wrap things off, some interval stuff. So feeling good. I gotta log these weights here. Oof, okay. few extra reps on that last one because set 2 felt a little easy. Moving into shoulder raises, which probably arguably the second most important muscle group to really work. Shoulders, just because with the Hyrox stuff between wall balls, burpees, lunges, sandbag lunges, even farmer carries, shoulders are put through a ton of work. They're under a lot of tension, whether they're actually working with the wall balls or just kind of like in that isometric, whatever, hold at the side with the farmer carries. Shoulders get a lot of work during the race, and so really overloading them, high reps. We're gonna go 20, 15, 10 with lateral raises, working in full range, maybe even a little bit bigger range than what you might do if you were like bodybuilding. Trying to keep tension, really working big range, high reps, which often leads to a really good shoulder pump. So we'll slide back by the dumbbells and go get these in. All right, so I'm trying to keep also working that muscular endurance, keeping the rest times shorter, closer to a minute-ish for these kind of like, for everything really outside of the compounds. So the higher reps, shorter rest, really making the body and the muscles work. All right, so last up as far as weights go, we got hammer curls along with crossover push down. So that's a wrap on weights. Now we're gonna get, like I said, a little bit of Hyrox specific conditioning in. We're gonna set up the ski erg and the rower for 150 meters, like a minute rest in between. And we'll set them so that we're basically just bouncing back and forth between the two. And we'll just hit 5 rounds there. So we'll go get by the ergs. Oh, holy shit. Whew. That was probably the fastest pace I've done on ski erg in a while. So that's a wrap on today's Hyrox session. It was a good rower and ski erg to finish. One thing, I don't know, I definitely found myself, I haven't been running as much as I wanted to for this, which we'll need to get into a little bit more. But the recovery time post like intervals, whether it's what we just did on the bike or assault run or whatever, recovery time has been very fast. So my heart rate will like peak, spike, 160, 170s up there. But then within a couple minutes, I'm back down to 120, 130, which is good to see for when it comes to the actual race time, because you'll hit those sessions or you gotta be able to recover fast in between the runs and the stations and make sure that heart rate's not staying high for too long, because that's where you get burned out, you just get gassed, you can't do it. So being able to work at a high rate and then be able to bring it back down, collect yourself, is important. We've been seeing that so far in training, which is nice. But this is basically the template or outline that I use for all the workouts. Like I said, kind of rotate through different compounds throughout the week, hit 3 to 4 full body sessions a week, and ending with some sort of more specific conditioning, whether it's ergs, assault runner, intervals, bike intervals, sled, carries, wall balls. And then I'm hitting 1 day a week of more like Hyrox sim type stuff, where it might be a circuit of 2 to 4 of the stations, and we're just rotating through those, whatever, for 5 rounds, or AMRAP, whatever, 15, 20 minutes, stuff like that. So, which will bring more of that over the next few weeks. So that's a wrap. Today's workout, today's video. Appreciate you guys. If you've stuck around, watched this long, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We got more Hyrox stuff coming, as well as just more fitness and training tips. So give this channel a subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you in the next one.